everybody. Welcome back to another episode of StarKid Spotlight. Yay!
Woo!
Yes. And this one I'm really excited about. I'm RandomBystanderHere.
I'm the Wash.
I'm going next.
Yeah. we redid our intro, and you
Nobody's gonna get that fun.
No one's gonna get that reference.
I'm gonna be watching this like years down the line. I'm gonna be like, why did I say that? Why didn't I quote the show?
And not only that, we have a special guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself, ma'am?
Hi, yes, I'm Anayume. I am a music streamer on Twitch and a global partner on DLive. I'm a pop folk singer-songwriter, and I play a lot of instruments, and I love all things creative. Hi.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, hello there.
Hello. I'm so happy to work with you and see you, because I've wanted you on this podcast because, one, we know each other because from streaming. Two, we know each other because we both love StarKid. And three, it's nice to have a musical perspective in a musical-themed podcast.
Yes, that's right, because you make a lot of songs.
Yes.
I do. Thank you so much for wanting to have me.
It's a pleasure. It really is.
Of course.
And
I just feel so much GLEE today.
yes, so much GLE.
Hopefully it doesn't turn into a twisted abomination.
Hey.
I get that reference. Yes. We're all
A wink to the camera.
Yep, that's right. We're all in this together as we watch and talk about Starship.
Oh boy, 2011 Starship. Before we get started on the big discussion, I feel like this would be a good point to talk about our history with Starship.
Yes.
And I will start with the one person that I feel has such a long, broad history with Starship. KirbyFan, take it back to 2011.
I mean, I don't think Random ever actually successfully showed me Starship. He definitely tried.
I did.
But I think I was like, man, Starship, that sounds stupid. I'm going back to play Kirby Superstar Ultra on my Nintendo DS.
I remember, there's one point I remember where you got to a point where a certain character was introduced who may or may not have looked like Solid Snake. And I just remember you pausing the screen, looking at the screen, looking at me, looking back at the screen, and then continue playing.
Wait, that was me?
I could have sworn that was you.
I don't remember seeing this ever.
All right.
I remember hearing you talk about it.
The thing is, that sounds more like what I would do, but also I don't remember that happening either.
So, to say you two have no experience with this film other than me talking about it.
No,
I mean, basically my experience with this film was going through the rest of StarKid and just being like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually do have history with Starship. It's just that it's half of a history in that Random introduced me to Starship. It was bugging me a lot about go watch Starship, and
bugging.
Alright, we've reached the peak. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I'm Random Bystander here. I've been lost. This is not the red line of StarKid. Have a good night.
All right, no. Continue.
So,
Sorry.
No, do not apologize for puns. That was fantastic.
Random was tootsie noodling me about watching Starship. And I did actually start watching. It was nice that this. I remember this was one of the few musicals at the time that actually had subtitles. So that was really nice for me especially because all the other ones you can't even hear a goddamn word they're saying without those subtitles.
The audio was. This is where they got mics.
Yeah, this is when they actually got
it was quite
mics.
a glow up in many ways.
Yes,
in so many ways. We'll talk about all the glow ups, but I started watching it and I actually made it up to the end of Act 1. I actually made it there, and I was like, this is pretty cool. I'm ready to watch more of this. Never touched it again. I have,
Relatable.
but the thing is, like, a lot of the stuff in the show is still kind of stuck with me. Like I want to be a Starship Ranger, and the Mosquito Brothers, especially the one that was like, we think he went that away. that one just. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about them. But basically, that's where my history on it starts and ends. Is that I started watching it and I never finished. So this time it was like half revisiting, half. Oh, this is where it goes.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say on that.
And
now
I'll
go
keep
ahead.
mine brief because
Are you sure about that?
I'm gonna try because I want to give some time to our lovely special guests.
All right. Well, random being brief is not something that I know about, but try.
This was definitely the one that made me think of StarKid of, oh, that's just a funny YouTube theater company, to like, this was the moment where I was like, wow, I really, really, really love StarKid. This was the musical that did it for me. I was obsessed with this musical from the moment I saw it. I was hooked from like right the opening song, and I just watched it nonstop. I watched it so many times. So many times. I love the characters. I love the story. I thought I had some music on my iPod, and that's how, from the show, that's how much I loved it. I actually bought some songs on iTunes back in the day. For a while, it was my favorite StarKid show until another show came by. We'll see if it holds up after talking about it. All right, Anayume.
Not bad. That was 1 minute. Not bad.
Yes,
Yeah.
I told you I would work on it. Anyway, Anayume, along with talking about Starship, do you want to talk about your experience with StarKid as well?
Sure. I remember I was always I know this isn't about Starship in particular, but as far as StarKid goes, I remember, I was a huge Harry Potter fan, and I had friends who were like, oh, you gotta watch this thing on YouTube, and, I was hooked immediately on, like, the Harry Potter musical. So, and then I stumbled upon the one, the MAMD, and I was too young to be watching that when I watched it, but I watched it anyway, kind of thing. And Starship was the first StarKid musical that I was aware it was being released. I was hyped up to see it come out, and it's one of those things where I wish I could go back and watch it for the first time, because similar to Random, it was just a magical experience, and it still is for me when I watch it. Like, there are just some scenes and songs that evoke like a very particular feeling. I can't even call it a name. I don't know if it's nostalgia or if it's just like me loving the richness of like the story or whatever. But gosh, Starship was such a step up from what I had seen from StarKid, and I was just so enraptured, from like the funny cameos at the beginning immediately to just the songs being so catchy. I remember when I was coming home from my theater camp every day on the bus, I had the songs from like Starship and the other musicals too on. But yeah, definitely. I think Starship still might have my top slot for StarKid musical for me.
Aww.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's I just picture like a bunch of theater kids just singing songs from StarKid and just bonding over it. I picture it. Now I'm getting memories because I went to performing arts school and I was like, oh, we listen to that stuff too. Anyway,
I have notes in the back of a copybook where I casted all my theater friends in different roles in Starship.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And I asked Anayume, like, hey, I'm doing this podcast. What episodes? Because she will be back for another one. We'll save that for another time. But
yes.
I asked her, like, what was the main one you want to do first? And she said Starship. And so I was like, that's why we have her as a wonderful special guest to talk about this musical. All right. Does anyone want to do a plot synopsis? If not, I'll do it. But like, if anyone wants to offer.
Here's the plot synopsis for Starship. Have you seen The Little Mermaid? Have you seen Aladdin? then
I would say more Starship Troopers. There is Aladdin references.
okay, here's the thing. I'm
Actually,
just gonna say.
I believe I forget who said it, but one of the StarKid members specifically said, yeah, it's the Little Mermaid in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Darren Chris who said it was Little Mermaid in space, and it was Joe Walker's idea to, hey, why don't you do a parody of Starship Troopers? So I went and watched both The Little Mermaid and Starship Troopers. Turns out I did not need to watch the second one at all, because it has almost nothing to do with Starship Troopers. It's okay. So it's about like a bug colony, and that is in Starship Troopers. And like with Starship Troopers, it's like the humans out in the war against the evil bugs. And the film itself is like satirical and stuff. But in this case, it's reversed in the angle, where it's the bugs that are helpless against the tyrannical space colonists. But there is one bug named Bug who has a dream to become a Starship Ranger. Maybe human? I think it's just specifically Starship Ranger, and
yeah, I was gonna say he wants to be specifically Starship Ranger.
Mhm.
Human would be a bonus, but that's what he wants to be, a Starship Ranger. At least that's what the song tells me in the opening.
Yes.
and his only idea of a Starship Ranger is from a crashed spaceship and the propaganda film that which is one of the few nods to Starship Troopers. That plays. So his idea is this extremely romanticized version of Starship Rangers, and also there's a help signal. There's a distress call on there that is completely disconnected, and he has no idea what it is. And he just thinks it's like, oh, that's just part of the whole thing. It's like, oh, help, I'm dying, ah! He just thinks that's like funny, but.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yes.
But yeah, the basis of it is that like he wants to become a Starship Ranger, and the plot of The Little Mermaid happens.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's a little bit more than that.
That's true. There's a little bit of Aladdin in there as well, but
there's a lot in it, honestly. Because Bug comes in. Bug wants to be a Starship Ranger. He gets assigned a job he doesn't like. And then the Starship Rangers come in. There's like February comes in. She gets captured. And we also meet a colorful cast of characters.
Colorful is putting it lightly.
So I know that Random's probably gonna hate me for saying this, and the movie absolutely goes in the direction of The Little Mermaid. But when they were talking about how they had to go to the Queen Bug in order to get jobs assigned to them for life, I'm like, oh god, it's going in the direction of B movie.
I thought you were gonna say A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
No, okay. Alright, because Random kept bringing this up the other day. This is better than A Bug's Life. You don't have to worry, Random. Get that out of the way now.
KirbyFan really hates A Bug's Life, Anayume, in case you don't know.
But I was very concerned that we were gonna get a B movie theatrical.
Because of Bug and the human. Oh.
Yeah, like,
Oh.
luckily we were spared B movie. Unfortunately, we were spared Jerry Seinfeld.
Yes.
We'll wait for that in the Potter musical.
You might have noticed this. I know Anayume and I noticed this. Like in the beginning, that training video had so many cameos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out that the reason that there was so many cameos in there is because a whole bunch of those haven't graduated yet, so they couldn't. They actually
Really?
could not show. Yeah, that is the true story. And in fact, Joey Rister, the star of it, he also didn't graduate yet, but they actually went to the dean of the art department or whatever it is to make an exception for him. And so when he was like doing his homework on the road, like he was dedicated to both.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but it sounds real damn tough, especially with all the work that he's done. Like he is like a focal point of the story.
He's literally the main character, and also the only one I think who doesn't do multiple parts.
Yeah, that's actually. I'm pretty sure that's entirely accurate. Yeah,
That sounds accurate.
Because everyone else, which is kind of cool, plays like multiple different roles. Like,
Oh, we'll talk about that, but I love that.
yes.
Yeah.
And feel free to jump in when your thoughts about these. The cameos are cool, but you know what was really cool that I really enjoy about Starship that wouldn't be quite the same. That's I want to say is
Please
different.
tell
from
me we're on the same wavelength, Random. Please.
the puppets.
Please. Yes. Yes.
I
Thank you.
Okay,
I was gonna bring
okay.
it up if you weren't gonna bring it up.
Gorgeous puppets.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
We were not prepared. We thought we were prepared from the dragon in Potter musical. No, we were not.
No,
Right.
Oh.
They brought like a guy who's from like the Jim Henson creature shop to work on this, and you can tell that
Yeah, I
these
was
are
just immediately impressed.
yeah. These
When
are
I was
high
watching it
quality.
and they got to Pincer, I'm like, how are they doing that with his hands? And then I saw that there were actors carrying the hands, and I'm like, wow.
All I could think about watching Pincer was, man, Dylan's arms gotta be tired.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
He like holds it up like I'm doing the motion now. You can't see it, but like he like holds his arms up on like holds them up high and is like that
Yeah.
arm workout.
I know, I
Yeah.
don't even have the arm strength to French braid my own hair. Like, I can't imagine.
It's
What's so-
crazy.
What's so like magical about this for me is that I started to realize, you know, it's like, okay, I can see all of the puppeteers. Like, they're not hiding it in the slightest. In fact, some of them that are playing multiple parts, you can still see like their costumes, and they just put on like a hoodie so they can cover up most of it.
Yeah, it's very. I think it's very Avenue Q style.
I was gonna mention Avenue Q.
I was just gonna say. I think that's also another thing this got compared to because of the puppets. It was.
and funny coincidence, the guy who made the puppets for this also did the Chicago production of Avenue Q. He did the puppets for Avenue. Just happenstance. It's like that. And but what I was saying was that you can clearly see that like Pincer, like that's so clearly like the southern yokel that I saw just a few minutes ago. But I was swept away by just because of the voice and the performance of the puppets. I was completely swept away, and even though I could clearly see the actor, I was still looking at Pincer's eyes.
yes.
If you want the ideal, like this is what I did like right away. Did not regret it. You look at both. You look to see what the actor's expression is, and you look to see how they're handling their puppet. I'm very impressed that not only were the puppets done that well, but the actors were also able to emote and really act through themselves and not, they're acting through the puppet, but also themselves, but not distract away from the puppet. It's very,
exactly.
It's very specific and it's very good.
It's so smart the way that they, and this must have taken so much practice to be like, you have to emote as an actor, and you have to make your character like if somebody is like repulsed, they have to be like, the puppet has to be shaken a bit while they're still like gasped. Like they have to embody this like weird caterpillar with the egg sac.
And here's what's so hard about that. Let's just using Joey Richter and Bug as an example. If Joey Richter is doing like too much, then the play's not about Bug. It's about Joey Richter. Why do you have that puppet there? But if he does too little, then it's like he's not acting. So you have to find that balance, and I think everybody did. I think
everybody struck an amazing balance with that.
Yeah,
absolutely,
without a doubt.
I especially love it at the speaking of like, you know, watching the actor and watching the puppet. There's that bit at the end where, you know, February is kissing Bug and Joey just like smirks up at the audience, and it's an amazing moment of a great fourth wall break.
When they kissed, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little much. I'll just look at Joey Richter, and then he did that, and I was like, he's the man.
no, the part that did it for me, and I already mentioned them earlier, but like the performance of the mosquitoes, like the one sweetheart, the
Jim Povla.
The performer that played sweetheart,
Jim,
like, Jim, they are actually like because they're so clearly like the tallest person on stage. like they kind of use like use that to their advantage to where they just like lumber across the stage, like and just he thinks he went that way, and they're just stomping down the road, and you can it's like he's barely performing it, but that just kind of makes it better, and just how it just adds so much to that, and then when at the very end, like the Commander Up, who we'll talk about, kills the mosquito. They shake and die, and then the puppets just drop them to the floor and walk away.
Yeah, the guy just walked away. I love that.
it's such a stupid detail that I just love.
I can't imagine that where like even if I was watching like a television show and I saw like the actors do that, I'd be like, man, that's lazy. But here it's just like, oh look, you can't edit theater, so they had to just awkwardly walk off the stage.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's amazing.
That only works because of theater. That's the magic of it.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. I honestly, the puppets make the show. They really do. And
Absolutely.
you
It
have
immerses you right in the universe.
yes, and there you get so many different designs too. Like
Yeah.
it's just fantastic to see the different designs of like puppets. Like you have Bug and you have like Roach and Pincer and just all these different ones, and not once and I have to like really concentrate on the actor if I really want to pay attention to them. I just look at the puppets every time.
Me too.
Yeah. Probably the one exception might be Joey Richter, just because maybe part of it is because like his puppet is so much shorter that I just kind of see them both together, but I don't call that a bad thing in any degree, especially because he's still acting.
Yeah, sometimes, especially at the more like emotional parts of the show, it was harder for me to just stay focused on the puppet, just because Joey Richter was putting on such a beautiful performance that I just kind of got lost watching him like emoting.
I think Joey Richter had overall the best performance, and I feel bad that I can't remember this guy's name, but I think like the actor that I got the most engaged in, because every time he made a face, I was just like, he's so cute. Was the guy that played Roach.
Oh,
Brandon or Brendan?
Oh, Brett Cox.
Brett, I know it was a B. BR something. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, this is actually his debut too.
Yeah,
which I was very surprised to see, and I couldn't find another
Fantastic.
credit to him. Is this his only show?
Wow.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah.
It might be. I honestly don't remember.
Off the cute ones, I get it.
Anyways, but we should probably talk about characters. But is there Anayume or anybody? Is there anything else you want to say about the puppets or like puppet designs or anything?
They went. Okay. We talked a lot about the puppets. Can we also give a shout out to the least puppets of the puppets? The ones that are literally just like
Cardboard.
It's a step above cardboard, but not much more.
Well, I mean, they have a good artist, so it's like whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it all looked great.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement from like a Harry
Quite.
Potter musical with the drawings of the dragons.
Yeah, those are
Yes.
the actual cardboard. Like these at least have like dimension to them. Like they have eyes and stuff.
All the visuals pleased me. I
sure.
really liked them a lot. Do we want to talk about characters? And if so, want to start with the title one, Bug?
The title one?
Wait, shoot. Not the title.
Yes, let's talk about the Starship.
The protagonist.
Let's talk about
The
Starship.
protagonist. That's the word.
Let's talk about our
Starship
favorite
was my
character.
favorite character. They
Yeah,
spent the
Starship.
whole thing not living.
Oh my god. The Bug.
So if we're gonna talk about Bug, I'll say it. I think they finally made a good protag. I think they finally did it.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
what? No, hold on. I like Darren. I mean, Darren Criss was a bit cocky in a Harry Potter musical, and I liked him a lot in a Harry Potter sequel more.
I mean,
I
I
will say
like the
that.
actor. I like the actor.
I like the. Yeah,
I mean-
I agree. I like the actor.
I mean the
in,
character. Like, and I'm not just
pro-
talking about the puppet.
Predating the musicals. I don't know if you guys have watched Little White Lie at all, but I think that there are some decent characters in that.
We have not.
Oh,
we've only watched.
We didn't do Little White. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know how the pro tag is in that one.
Little White Lie.
Yeah, no, I'm specifically talking about pro tags. Harry Potter in musical was not the nicest guy, and then in sequel they made him better, but there were still areas that just kind of flip flopped, and there were only 2 plays before this one, so that's all we can really talk about. But here, they did it. They made a really good pro tag.
Yeah, honestly, and not only that, Joey Richter has grown so much.
I was gonna say.
That's definitely one of my biggest
I just got
points.
finished saying Brent Cox was cute, but Joey Richter kind of cute too.
Oh my god! I mean, like if we're gonna talk about it, I remember watching clicking on Starship and like the lights come up and I had watched the other 2 musicals that they had put out before and I was like, oh, Joey's looking good these days. and not even just that, even his like vocal performance improved as well. So it's just he had like this total glow up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. when he did that side eye to the audience and they were kissing, I was like, oh, you're so Joey, you're so forward.
Honestly, just vocal performance alone, like because in the songs in previous musicals, like he could sing good, but he struggled a bit. This one, he got so many good songs, and it showed like how his vocal range really showed, especially with the opening Starship Ranger and Life, I believe. That's the one where he sings in the egg hatch. I forgot that song and how good that was.
Status Quo as well.
I was gonna mention Status Quo. Like that one's still like kind of stuck in my head. That one's great. Song.
My favorite song. This is the gamer in me talking, I guess. But if there's one song that's stuck in my head, it was when the humans and the bugs were side by side and they were it's like these disgusting creatures, something like that.
Hideous creatures.
Creatures. Yeah.
That song, you two haven't seen Pocahontas, have you? Because
I haven't seen it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it reminds me of the song "Savages," but better.
But better, way less problematic too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, isn't it so nice that Joey Richard's not playing an asshole for once?
Yes.
Like,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Finally, and you know what? I just hope it keeps this way because I don't like when Joey Richard just tells a woman to shut the hell up because then I just stop having fun because
yeah, like when he gets mad at Buggette, and you're like, oh wait, this Joey Richter's getting mad and it's deserved?
Yeah, because she fucking like betrayed his trust.
Also, she wants to, rip his head off and tear off his
head off.
I know now's kind of a bad time. But
How did you
come to my house?
That is scarily good.
How did you do that?
That is such a good
Lauren Lopez,
impression.
is that you?
Lauren Lopez, what are you doing here?
Welcome to our podcast.
We gotta talk about her later. Like, wow.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God. Yes.
She's a treasure.
She is.
Bug.
He's such a positive character. He's very positive. He's not a jerk. There could have been opportunities where he could have been a jerk, like if he was written the wrong way, but they really had a nice balance of relatability with him. And
yes. Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt you.
I was enthusiastic.
Well, I want to interrupt everyone.
We're so polite. I was just enthusiastically agreeing because Bug is. I think one of the reasons why Starship is still my favorite is because I relate. I feel like I relate so much to Bug. He's such a relatable character. I'm a girl with big dreams who feels like she doesn't have like a place in the world that's established the way it is. So just him wanting to do his thing just makes me feel a lot of emotions.
Exactly. We all have
Absolutely.
that. We all have that like mindset of we want to achieve our dreams, whether it's being a Starship Ranger or something equivalent to that.
Yeah, and Bug wants to be a Starship
to
Ranger because of the body he has. He can't do it. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or just like or just like the world tells him like you need to do this when in reality you want to do this. Everyone relates to that, and Starship really hits the mark with this protagonist where I'm rooting for him all the way.
Yeah.
And I did not do that with Potter. I did not do that the main character, me and my dick. And I really I love it. I love it.
Yes.
I don't know if I said this for the others, but like a darker humor like they were going for, you can write that and you can make it work. StarKid couldn't. So then I guess they finally noticed and they were like, well, let's go in the opposite direction. Let's make a world that's not going to necessarily treat him the best because of the way that it is, but will make him hopeful. And
yes,
they can write that.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the dark humor, they whip out the dead god jokes immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the running dead god joke.
Oh yeah.
Thank dead God I made it.
I don't know why. You think I never found it getting too old.
No, because you kind of forgot about it before it came back. Such a great touch.
Yeah, especially when it's like, those one where it's like the junior was. I forgot he was like he said I forgot the line, but in the second act when he was talking about like but luckily God is dead. And so
yeah, God
when
save
you're
the
in
queen. We have a saying where I come from too. God save the queen. Lucky for me, God is dead. Yeah.
So when you see him in hell, say hello.
Tell him Junior sent you.
Tell him Junior said thank you.
We'll get to him. We'll get to him.
We'll get to him.
Yeah, we'll get to him.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think they could have made this work in the script proper, but I won't lie. When I saw Joey Richter playing Bug, I had a thought, and then the play ended, and I'm like, man, no red vines.
But they did manage to get the sweatbands in.
Yes, they did.
I was happy
they
about
managed to
that.
get the headband.
I was
so happy about that.
That was like
Thrilled.
I completely forgot about it. Like, and then when I saw it, when I rewatched it, I was like, "Oh, I forgot about this!"
Like literally, last time we recorded it, Wash was like, "Does Joey Richter wear a headband every time?"
and Random kept saying, "I will neither confirm nor deny."
Mostly because I forgot if he did in Starship. Is there anything else you want to say about Joey Richter? I mean, Joey Richter.
Just like 11 out of 10. You know, that's just how I feel.
Any complaints that I have are just nitpicks. So
I have a none of the complaints with the character. I have a couple complaints with like the play, at least so far, but we can talk about that later on. I'll give a quick shout out to the costume design that they give to the human version of Bug.
Yes.
And I like the detail that they gave him an out of date Starship uniform.
Yes.
Like that's a surprising bit of world building that I really appreciate. It's and it barely like plays in. It's just a part of a conversation, but it just adds so much to the world that like, oh yeah, of course there would be like this is like a 20-year-old uniform. Yeah, it's quite nice. It's quite nice. Who could we? The thing is, like, Bug is the obvious thing that we started. Which character would we go to next? Because
I want to talk about Roach because he's cute.
Oh, we can talk about Roach. He's such a sweet bean.
Let's talk about Roach.
I want to talk about him, but like all my thoughts about Roach begin and end with he's cute.
Oh my gosh, he is though. He is such
He's
a
a
sweet
precious
bean.
little baby. He's the Bug equivalent of a cinnamon roll.
Yes. He's like truly such a dedicated best friend.
I know. I love when he goes to stick up for Bug when the queen is about to have him eaten or whatever, and she's like, honey bunchkins.
Oh yeah, because he's more. I mean, we see him as a supportive role from the very beginning to the very end. So even like when Bug leaves the hive and comes back as a human, his first thought is, "Hey, let's help Bug get laid." and just show him the beauty of our world. And like that's really nice.
It's so nice. And Bug didn't really leave him in like the kindest way either. He was just like, I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do, and he like just turned around and left with the Mosquito Brothers. And either way, Roach was just like, hey, he loves her. Let me just try and help him with this. And he like didn't hold it against him at all.
That I was so ready for Roach to be like, I can't believe he betrayed him. I'm gonna betray him back or something like that. But instead, he just sings Under the Sea, and it's wonderful.
He sings "Kiss the Girl."
It's like both of those combined. I gotta say though, like I don't know if we're gonna go into the songs like in like separately, but Beauty just when that starts and oh my god, I always have this huge stupid grin on my face every time.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to the songs because
I think
I
for
have
the first time we should do the songs like as their own thing.
Yeah,
like the first
trust me. There's so much I want to say, especially about a particular song. As well.
I can't wait.
Oh,
so I cry pretty easily, but it's at weird things, like really weird things. What got me here was when Bug was about to leave the hive for good, and then Roach says, "But I'll miss you."
I know, but what if I miss you? Oh my god, my heart!
I want to hug you.
Can we have why is there no Roach plushie? Exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's just so. Oh, I love Roach. I love Roach.
Me too.
My favorite character is one of two. It depends on how shallow I'm feeling. If I'm feeling very shallow, it's Roach, but I am open about it, and like you can't convince me otherwise. But we'll get to the other contender later.
I have a feeling I might know what it is, but does anyone else have any last thing to say about Roach before we move on to the Rangers?
I just realized that, like, I think I know, like, part of why KirbyFan really likes Roach is because it reminds her of Mo from WALL-E, just a total bro.
No, like, yes, but no.
Just the truest bro.
I mean, yes. They're different kinds, though. One is hilarious, one is cute.
Anyways, let's move on to the Rangers, which is it's a big group of people. Some who are more notable than others, I will say.
Yeah, I think just for the sake of keeping things moving, let's get like the less interesting ones out of the way. Which are that one guy and that one girl.
Hold on.
Oh gosh.
Specs will go first because unfortunately they are not that interesting as much as they got shafted a bit with the.
They got that.
They did, and I remember reading. I don't know if it was in an article or an interview or if like I heard one of the StarKids talking about it. I mean, this is way back in the day, but it has stuck with me because I still like feel like they should have because they were like the show was long enough. We had to cut out this whole other thing we wrote for Crander and Specs. They had a love story and they didn't include it, and I'm still offended apparently.
Oh man.
I know.
Yeah, that stings.
I mean,
it's called Starship, but we need to include all the ships.
Oh, I mean, I get it because the Harry Potter musical was like 2.5 hours, but still,
yeah, I know. Like, I get where they were going, but like those dragged. This one didn't.
Yeah, they almost played they almost added, I don't want to say nothing to the story, but not a whole lot, and I feel bad because I love them both as actors, but
yeah.
Did they even do anything in like the fight at the end?
Cramden did. He distracted Pincer at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Specs tried to fight, but then got tossed by Mega Girl really quickly.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. And
I remember they made a sound effect when she got tossed out the window, which I thought was pretty funny. But like that's all I got. I kind of wish that there would be a nerdy girl that's just like normal, not speaking like this. He's like all the big words,
right?
Like it's just kind of like
yeah, the Halloween. That literally, I have those glasses for a Halloween costume when I was playing as a nerd back in like middle school.
Yeah, I wish they developed them more. I get it for time constraints, but they could have worked. It could have.
Yeah, I know. I feel like they must have stripped so much away from the story that they had for them that they like kind of really got lost in all the action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because with their personalities, I feel like something really fun could have happened with like either them together or just like separate little side stories. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I could have seen it explored.
I mean, I
goes off and writes Starship fanfic. Like,
I think this is ripe for fanfiction.
It truly is.
Potter probably got all of them, but.
No, there's definitely some Starship fan fiction out there.
Oh, I'm sure,
probably with
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, probably with the other couple though. That not, and I don't mean Bug in February. I mean.
Oh, I thought you were saying Bug and Bugette.
Do you want to talk about them, Anayume?
I just love them. I love them so much. Because they're such an unlikely duo, and I just really wanted to see that fulfilled because I am the ship girl. I just love to see people get together.
We're talking about Mega Girl and Tootsie Noodles.
Yeah. So I remember like they're getting together. You know, there's chemistry building. I'm like, okay, there's chemistry building. I like it. How is this gonna pay off? And then she goes to kill him. She goes going to kill Tootsie Noodles. And then he's like, that's not my name anymore. I changed it to Tootsie Mega Girl. I was like, oh my God.
Because where I come from, Farm Planet, which is also... That is also a reference to Starship Troopers. I was very surprised to see that. But it's where I come from, Farm Planet. What was it? It's like, it's what...
My first name's what you do, and a second is what you love.
And I love you, Mega Girl.
Oh, it was so
I couldn't
sweet.
believe it. Like, my jaw dropped. Like, it's like the most simple of jokes, but it's executed in a way that's like, it
was so wholesome.
There's foreshadowing. It's nice. It's funny. It's like so much went into it. And I'm like I had to applaud. I couldn't think of anything else to do.
It's so sweet. Like, I remember, like, at first, like, when I saw Tootsie Noodles, I was like, oh, he's stereotypically, I don't know if that's a stereotype or not, but I still loved him because he was still, like, even though he had a country voice, he was still very sweet.
Yeah, this is my 2 cents on Tootsie Mega Girl. He is a stereotype. We could all agree on that. He's not harmful. That is the big difference between somebody like him and what we've seen.
Like, he's not only a stereotype, he's a caricature of a stereotype. Yeah. So it's just really blown out of the water.
Yeah, very exaggerated.
And self-aware.
Yeah, there is like one joke where he talks about like his last girlfriend with a stack of hair. That stack of hair with my cousin. And
me and horses
just
got
like
a feud.
so absurd. It's like so absurd that like nobody would actually like think of that as like a legitimate stereotype.
Random, you're gonna like this. That kind of, it's like the Punch Out Wii stereotype.
Yeah, pretty much. Where like they're there, but they make something out of it, and they make something cool out of it. And with Tootsie Mega Girl, I really like how the character evolved and how it played in the story. But
absolutely,
they wouldn't be the same without Mega Girl. And this is Meredith's debut in StarKid Productions, at least.
It is.
At least for the musicals, yeah. She's in Little White Lie, but for the musicals, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
For the musicals, and my God, what a role to start with. She goes all out with like the movements.
Yeah, no, but I don't think anybody else could play Mega Girl like Meredith.
No, especially like the combination, like when like my first time watching, I was like, I remember Mega Girl, and then like I stopped watching after the first act. But I remember Mega Girl, and like I like over the years I was just still thinking like, oh, so Mega Girl is like she abandons them in this on the planet, and so she's like a secondary villain, and then we find out that she works for the secondary villain. And I was expecting to just go there, but there's a weird amount of humanity in this robot that thinks that humans are weak for eating food. Yeah. And the least natural sound you could possibly make.
You know, obviously, you know, I could tell you about the acting and stuff, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm an aspiring voice actor, so stuff like that really matters to me. And the way that she talked, she really nailed that robot talk where you're saying a thing, but when it comes time to say proper noun, it kind of breaks off, like it's a cut.
Yeah, it's like GLaDOS before the processing. Like just the
It's very impressive.
It was very nice. My favorite thing was when Tootsie Mega Girl professed his love to her, and her jaw drops and you just hear the dial-up.
Dial-up, yes.
The dial-up, I was like, wait, what's happening? And then she's like, now downloading new emotion. Are you sure you want to open it in case of viruses? It's like, yes.
This was downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you want to download it?
I do. Oh, It's so good.
It's so
Yeah.
funny.
And then it turns out that Commander Up, who again we'll talk about, is also like a registered like priest in the Mobile, Alabama, and so he was able to ordain the wedding. and the way that they say "I do" is that Mega Girl says affirmative, and Tootsie Mega Girl says hell yeah.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Oh, to say they're a great couple. Fun fact, I heard a rumor that they were working on a Starship sequel that just never happened. And
Oh my god.
they were going to make the focus on Tootsie, Mega Girl, and Mega Girl.
Yeah, I
So-
saw that on TV
Interesting.
Tropes, but I couldn't find citation.
Yeah, that's the
Me
thing.
either.
But I'd be down. I'd be down
Yes.
for it. I don't.
No, I
don't know.
need to know more about Crander and Specs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the. We're just all just forming a fan fiction of our own.
Right now, yes.
All right. How much time we have? Okay, we got
have-
some time.
we got
currently
plenty of
27 and a half minutes, so we got time.
We got time. Okay. Let's talk about not really a couple, but the next two group of people in the Starship, Taz and Up.
Can I
Taz and
just
Snake.
quickly say that those were who I was actually gushing about before, not Mega Girl and Tootsie.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
I know that's okay. I wanted to see them get together, but I understand why they didn't. It's okay.
I'm so sorry for assuming couples.
Oh no, it's okay. I mean, Tootsie and Mega Girl are great, but my god, the dynamic between Taz and Up is just incredible.
Can I this like massive credit to Lauren Lopez. I don't think she's spoken in her
yes.
natural accent for a single play that she's been in.
No.
She always has an accent and she always nails it.
I think
She's
at one-
just gushing with talent, truly.
Yeah,
I
absolutely,
just love her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she like and yes, she does a magnificent job as Taz. There's like so many scenes, like her opening scene where she like tells Cramden to like walk off her knife.
Yes! She
That is
stabs
also-
herself.
She stabs herself because he's like, "You
Yeah.
stabbed me."
Walk it off!
Yeah, that is also a reference to Starship Troopers. In fact, fun fact, only because this had nothing to do with it, but the person who threw the knife into the hand in Starship Troopers, Mr. Krabs.
Oh wow!
Just a-
Wow.
Yeah, Clancy Brown in a fantastic performance, and that's all I have to say about that. Because again, there's no other reason to watch Starship Troopers.
Oh my god. Taz is great. The point I can think of so many other memorable moments, like that scene in the beginning where she like her song is underrated. I think. For
I
one.
agree. I love it.
Two, the moment where she rips off Up's mustache.
You ripped off my mustache.
I am in charge of this mission now.
Oh,
All of the random Spanish lines, I don't know if you picked up on
no, I
them
did.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
did.
I mean, with the little Spanish I took in high school, it's really funny to just know what she's saying.
Yeah.
Donde está la robota?
Caliente. I'm like, hot?
Was it like, remember when you saved me in my quinceanera? Quinceaños, that's right.
Remember when you taught me
Quinceañera.
calculus? That was tough.
That was hard.
I don't know how many
Oh,
of
I
you...
still
I don't
reference
know-
calculus was tough.
I
all the
don't know
time.
how many of you have taken calculus. I hated it.
Oh,
I am a math
Oh,
kid.
I-
I got like a 95 in algebra 2. I am a math kid. I hate
Yeah.
calculus.
It was
Oh, see,
Same
I'm like,
here.
algebra was tough. Like, I can't even, I'm not a math person.
I had a science degree, and like calculus was the bane of my existence. It's so
Calculus.
fucking.
It was tough.
we all needed Up to teach us calculus.
Yes.
Oh man, if Joe Walker was teaching me calc, oof.
I wouldn't be able to concentrate on
No
the
one
calc.
would.
No.
I'd be like, wow, Joe Walker, you look a lot like Solid Snake today, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Do we want to talk about? Is there anything else about Taz? Do we want to say? Or do we
Let's
want
talk
to
about let's talk about Commander Up.
All right. Okay.
Oh, we can move on to Up.
Up. We're moving on up then.
Yeah.
We're getting back up into the
Yeah,
conversation.
it's kind of weird that we're talking about Up again, but sure, I'll take it from the top. Carl Fredrickson
Nope. Not that Up.
I saw that coming a mile away.
I knew you would watch. Pixar perspective never dies.
Anyway,
Perspective never dies.
This is my favorite role of Joe Walker so far. I'm hands down. It might be my favorite role he's ever had.
That's super tough.
It's very good.
It's tough for me too.
This is a much better play than Potter musical, but Voldemort. Oh,
Voldemort
I agree. I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah, like bi icon again.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I say gay a lot because it's great, but it is bi.
yeah, it is. Bi.
we love a bicon.
Yes.
Exactly. I don't know, just something
We stan.
Yes, we stan. I do stan Volt. I do stan Corlamort. I do. But I don't know, just something about Up's performance and Up's character. Just I really like a lot.
It's hard.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not telling you that it's like definitely not one. I'm like it's tough.
No, you really get a sense that his character has had a rich life and history filled with trauma and, violence and just like self-growth and that struggle that we all deal with mental health stuff,
Oh my God,
in our
the
lives.
moment
So
where
it's
When he
just
took out the mirror,
crazy.
when he took out the little
Yes.
mirror.
This is gonna.
You are a worthwhile person.
You're not a failure overall.
Overall. Every time I say overall, I think of Up and I do the hand thing. Overall.
Honestly, it's too relatable.
It's like he like punches himself in the mirror. It's like, oh, Ted, am I bleeding? He didn't even crack the mirror.
Couldn't
my
even
God.
break the glass.
You know this character's. I spent like 10 minutes complaining about this in the musical that doesn't exist, but like I am Ace. I normally don't like genital discussion. I was rolling laughing when he was talking about how he didn't have genitals. It was actually like hilarious.
That honestly,
I was cut in half. Vertically.
Vertical
hot dog style, not hamburger.
can we just say that's like one of the best scenes in the whole show?
My God,
That's like one of the best
We'll
lines.
get to what my favorite part of the show was. That was probably my second favorite scene of the whole thing.
I love that scene, not just for a hilarity standpoint, from a story standpoint.
Yes, at the end of that scene when Up and Bug are pumping each other up, like you feel that, and when Bug salutes him and runs out, I just remember just even today, like when I was rewatching it, just feeling that excitement like in my bones, like he's gonna do it and like Up's gonna do it too, like
Not to mention just the whole story of like killing with your heart. And how, like, it not only sounds logical, it's not.
There's no funnier way to
Such
conclude
a
this.
stupid pun.
Bug Talk tells Up about killing with your heart and, like, how it's, like, the most scary and intimidating, most fearsome creatures are ones who protect people they love. And you think it's just like, oh, he's just going to kill with his heart. And then it pays off later at the end where Up literally kills with his heart by killing the mosquitoes by overpumping them with blood. Oh, I love it. It's
amazing.
Such a stupid pun, but it's so funny.
Especially like this is more just for the overall scene, but just like seeing like the mosquito balloons inflate during that.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
Such a good touch.
Up is literally one of my favorite characters in this. It really,
Oh,
he
same,
really is.
same.
He really
It's so close.
He fits
for
like
me.
solidly into my number 3, definitely.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say because I don't want to brush him
If you
off.
don't have anything else to say about Up, can I take the stage for a sec?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my favorite character is Junior. Let me tell you why. There is one specific scene that sells his character for me. So Act 1 finishes. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Act 2 starts, and right away it hits us with the best scene in the entire play: Junior calling his dad, and then meeting his mom, and then talking to his dad
Jamie's.
about the. But we'll talk about that scene. I want to dive deep into that sucker. But the thing with Junior is that you see him in Act 1, he's just kind of a brat, but in Act 2, you see him do some truly despicable things, and it's like, what is the method behind the madness? What is his motivation? And at the very end, he says, I do all these terrible things so that I can take over the world and buy weed. That was the moment.
It's amazing.
This is the best character that StarKid's ever gonna write. They're not topping me.
I doubt that, but
I'll have to be frank here. I liked Junior more in the first act when Junior was acting like the guy the boss who wants to be cool, but he's very clearly not. It's like he's doing like, oh, I hate to do this to you guys, but you have to. I'm sorry. It's just so like. It's so two-faced. It's so passive-aggressive too. That part I like. When he just became an outright like bad guy and just like killing like indiscriminately, it was like
I disagree because he was. I mean, first of all, the first scene of Act 2 was that whole thing, very goofy. But for the most, like he's a super goofy villain who's like a cartoon villain whose plans are being spoiled almost like. When he finds out that everybody's alive, he's just like, "Oh, it's so great to see you all!" Like he's just so mad. And then the facade breaks finally, and that's like one of the few parts of the movie that it's actually like, "Oh shoot!"
Oh yeah, like it was like, "Oh my god, this is like serious."
Yeah, like this actually is like a spoiled brat of a kid.
Yeah.
And then you find out that it's just like he's this hate-filled because he just wants more weed. Like
he just needs a little
that
something.
He does everything that he says. It's just because he wants more weed, and there's just something so raw about that hits a nerve.
What were we gonna say, Anayume?
Oh, I was just gonna say, Brian in general. I mean, I know that we're talking about Junior the character, but Brian who plays Junior, when I first saw Starship, I thought that was his debut. Little did I know he was Flopsy, like in the one in the other one.
Yeah,
and Flopsy.
I was like, what a range! What a range!
Because when we were talking about sequel, we were talking about how we like the actor. It's just the character was like really problematic in certain regards. But here it's just like, no, it's like his like bad tendencies are actually because it's like he's just like a terrible person. Like the actor is actually just like he can truly shine, play this character, and it works.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love it. Brian does such a good job with this. I love his role in Junior and as the Mosquito Brother too. That's pretty good.
Yes.
No, but I mean like that scene when he calls up his dad. And his dad's talking to him, and then he's like, "Hey, how's mom doing? Oh, she died yesterday, but it's all right. I've met another woman. Go talk to her. Stay out of my room, Dad. I don't like it. Yeah, I figured."
Jamie as the stepmom is so funny.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, you want a new pair of headphones, do you?
I guess I'll have headphones.
I guess I'll have headphones.
Jamie doesn't have like a big role in this. She plays a lot of ensemble parts. The biggest role she has is the Mosquito Brother, and but her voice still shines with a character and a song we'll get to.
Oh yeah.
Probably
so
very
real
soon.
quick, that plenty of time is not plenty anymore. We've got about 15 and a half minutes. Do we want to start talking about the songs, the negatives, or Pincer?
Oh, we did skip,
I was gonna
we
say,
did skip
like,
February, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with the negatives.
We'll get to that. I have some feelings about February, but let's talk about Pincer.
Let's talk about Pincer.
Okay, I was gonna make a transition of like one of my favorite parts about Junior was when he pulled the exact same trick that Pincer pulled on Bug. It was like, I kind of like did. Like, no, it's stupid. No, you're gonna laugh at me. It's like
it's another one of those parts where it's like he's so manipulative. Oh my god.
Yeah.
He's so manipulative, and it's funny in that regard. And it's funny because it's to Pincher, who is one of my favorites, like absolute favorite.
It's Ursula from Poor Unfortunate Souls.
I was gonna say it's Space Ursula.
Yeah, Kick It Up a Notch is, I think that's my favorite song.
That was so good.
Well,
but yeah, just the especially like the reveal of Pincher and just how enormous this puppet is, like holy shit. And
it's breathtaking.
Oh, I love it. It's just
this suave voice. Of course, it's the Ursula equivalent, and much like Ursula, Pincher dies. Pincher gets stabbed in a way that doesn't feel very satisfying. Much like
I think, I will argue this one's more satisfying because you have
It was
that
very
moment with
satisfying.
Joey.
This is more satisfying because of the airlock, and that there's a self-sacrifice element to that.
Yes.
Whereas in the Little Mermaid, Ursula just gets stabbed by a boat, and then the whole thing's over. Boring. Welcome to Disney perspective.
Because honestly, that leads to like the most one of like Joey's Bugs' most emotional scenes, where he like realizes the truth of the needs of the many bugs outweigh the needs of a few bugs or the one bug, which is great character growth.
Yeah,
I cry without fail every time I watch that scene.
Me too. Me too. I cried too.
Again, like what gets me going? Like I don't even know. But when he was saying goodbye, like he was like, "I guess I'm not a Starship Ranger after all." It's like, oh, it's sad, but it's like I don't know, it's like a little corny. And then Up says, "You may not be a human, but you're the best space ranger I've ever met." And I was like, oh. Like everything Bugs said was like a little too sappy for me, but not that. I don't get it, but I don't care.
Oh, I'm a huge sap. I was just crying immediately. Like,
oh, I was bawling. What I also want to say about Pinsir is mostly the song. Do we want to talk about the negatives and February? I don't think she's much of a negative. I'll defend her for this round. But or do we want to talk about the songs first? I kind of want to end off with the songs, just because.
Yeah, I think
I was gonna say, well, maybe we should like wrap up the characters and then move on to the songs.
Yeah, and I mean, February's not my only negative. There's been a lot of positive, but there were like more than just nitpicks that I had to complain about. But February is the big one. What is everybody's stance on? Obviously, I didn't like her. What about everybody else?
I don't hate her, but I mean, I do think some of it was trying a little too hard, like with like some of her lines, you know.
Yeah.
And obviously, she's not a vocalist.
She's a choreographer. She actually played double roles in this. This is her debut, and she also did the choreography.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it's the dumb blonde like stereotype, and it's just kind of like surface level. And this is also just like stuff. There's like it feels a little too much like, oh, a guy wrote this. There's just something where it's like she talked about like the like a planet of shoes or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh god.
But I think that's probably along with the stereotype.
Yeah, like there was some those lines made me just go, oh, okay. But
same.
She does have some moment, like the whole scene where like they're in the starship, the crash starship, and she like figures out everything. That made me go like, whoa, okay.
That like validates that she was able to become a Starship Ranger. That like, you know, she has those moments. So I don't want to say brilliance, but brilliance for her.
I feel like that's. I mean, you know, it's fine, but I feel like it's less of a perk for her and more of a perk for the script. Like we're not being like, oh, it's a good play, but like, why is she a Starship Ranger? It's like, oh, that's why. You know, good for you, script.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for finally validating the science office.
Yeah.
At least they made that a running joke. Is there any
oxygen?
Yeah, when she was like, you guys know how much I hate this. I'm gonna rag on this play for it. When they find out that Bug was a bug.
The liar reveal trope?
The liar reveal. She's even like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, I tried telling you twice. And you didn't listen, and it's like, I think that's supposed to be funny, but it's like, I know exactly where the stupid trope is going, and it went exactly where anybody could see that it was going, and it was like, you're doing so good.
I will grant that this is better than the liar revealed in A Bug's Life.
That is like an impossibly low standard to reach. That is not a compliment. That is like, people breathe.
like that one that like it's just like constant moping and doping and just, oh, we failed. And
I
this
never
one,
thought
like,
I'd see the day.
I never thought I'd see the day. But in this one, at least, like, there's the reveal, and then, oh shit, it's Pinsir, quick, let's do our action sequences while we're trying to settle out our emotions. And so I'll grant a little better that they at least there's at least a little bit of fun to have along the way, even though it's the same shit we've seen so many times.
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, literally you've done it for the podcast, but with, you know, I'm thinking back to, you know, liar revealed stuff and like, or twist villains or whatever, and like Monsters Inc. and Coco, where it's like, oh, these actually work. Like, you can make it work. It's just never does.
See, tropes don't bother me so much. I'm also the type of person who likes to watch, you know, mostly love story stuff, so I always kind of know where that's going. So I don't know.
I mean,
that kind of stuff
like,
doesn't bother me so
tropes,
much.
I love all kinds of cliches. I love I love Fire Emblem stories, but it's those specific tropes where it's just like things either just like stop adding up, or it's just like everything, like the immersion, the imagination, the suspense, it's all gone. And it's just like, you know what they're gonna say, and it frustrates you because, like Bug said, I tried telling you twice and you didn't listen. And then everyone's like, Bug, what did you do to her? And it's just like, stop talking, please.
I'll still grant. I'll agree with Anayume that it's not that bad. But I see your point that this it got a little bit much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a complaint that's so bad that it ruined it. Like stuff that I've been saying in the last couple episodes. It's not that bad, but it was just like, this trope again.
Yeah. Any other thoughts before we go into songs?
Let's talk about the songs real quick. We don't have that much time.
Starship Ranger opening, great opening number. It was fantastic.
The through line of this, it becomes a very common pattern, just like hearing the "I wanna be a Starship Ranger," and then in the reprisal at the end of the of Act 1, he said, "I am a Starship Ranger." It's like
Yeah.
I mean, and for the opening of the show, it's immediately immersive. Like you're sucked right into the story, the characters, and the world they're creating.
It does
Absolutely.
It does a great job of introducing everybody too. Like you see like all the bug world, and I like it.
I was gonna say, like, you see like how the society functions while they're singing the song. So it's like there's like exposition in the bit, like during this, and it's all fun. It's all funny, especially like Bugette and her egg sack. It's like her version of laughing. It's just going.
That's her version of laughing. That's her version of crying, and her version
Crying.
of
And dying.
Yes.
dying. Yes.
And dying.
All of them.
All of the above.
All of the above. All of the abug.
Oh, let's go.
All the above.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. We have to go back on the topic. We have to get back up.
Yes. Good
Lightning
song.
round.
Very good song. I love it. It's just like it's Lauren Lopez at one of her bests. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yes. It really does pump you up too. You know,
Absolutely.
it's just so wholesome.
It's because you just basically you get is the goal of the song is to bring back up, and you even get to hear Joe Walker character sing a bit. It was nice. It was very
and you get the
nice.
character dynamic between Taz and Up right away.
Right away.
And the other two are just kind of there.
It was a little sad that like Taz was like after that song, Taz was just getting like more and more aggressive towards Up. And I know that Taz was like looking up to the old version of Up and just had the disappointment. But it's just like, oh, I liked it. Why don't you get back up?
I mean, I'm also imagining a version of the play where Taz is always like, look at how cool Up is, and then he's just kind of like fangling around. I'm very glad they didn't go that route.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, Life, or I believe it's called.
Something questions, something. I just remember the word question was in the song.
Yeah, it starts with not questioning the answers. That's status quo.
No, Life. I mean Life.
Oh.
That's the one where Bug sings his like ballet number in like the egg hatching place.
Yes.
That's right,
It's a beautiful song. Makes me emotional.
Beautiful. Probably one of Joey Richter's like best. It really shows how Joey has grown as a singer. I love it.
Yeah, and also Darren Chris's composition, like that song, the chords, they're just so unique and just so interesting.
I think this album is Darren's best musical work.
Yes,
I'm inclined to agree. I like he knocked it out of the park, and it's so sad that he wasn't able to make it because of GLEE.
Yeah, wink.
Yes.
Like winked right to the audience. Yeah, I like to imagine that like Darren Criss was in the audience.
I like to think he was behind the camera.
That's who Joe Walker was winking at.
Hideous Creatures.
Oh yes, okay.
It's a cool tune.
Super shallow. It just reminded me of a battle theme. It's so shallow of a reason, but like it's a good. It reminds me of like the games where you can pick. There's like two different like warring sides or whatever, and you can pick which side you go on. And because like it's like the lighting changes whenever the focus changes on whether it's the humans or the bugs. It's just like you're like it's like you're picking the side, and depending on which side you pick, that's your battle theme. I love a song where the lyrics are like exactly the same, but they're describing the other. Like you're comparing two different things, but because the two things are actually the exact same thing, the lyrics are the same. Like the bugs think the humans are disgusting,
cool,
the humans think the bugs are disgusting. Like very, very, very layered.
I also just want to note that the live performance of that song, like watching it on the, as the musical, sounds almost identical to the recorded track. It's one of their best performed songs, I think, of the show.
Oh,
I was listening to Cast album, and it sounds very similar. Yeah,
I mean, audio quality as a voice actor, audio quality is very important to me. So we'll go with that.
Quite.
We'll go with that.
All right, kick it up a notch.
Definitely
best song.
My favorite song immediately followed by my number 2. Incredible.
What I love about this song especially, not only is like the chorus of this, it's just so smooth, kick it up a notch, but also that he combined 2 of Bug's songs as part of his Temptation song. He uses You Want to Be a Starship Ranger, and he uses the Life song, and it's like,
it's brilliant.
Whoa!
Layered.
It's very layered.
Yes, it's so damn catchy.
This was around 2010 when we were starved from Disney villain songs. I think maybe Princess and the Frog just came out or something, but that was
The Frog was still
it was so nice to hear like a Disney villain inspired song in a musical, and I just loved it.
So I know, obviously, Poor Unfortunate Souls is probably what all of you thought of. I specifically thought of Be Prepared, not because it reminded me of it at all, but I know how much Random loves this play, and I thought of a Disney villain song, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm imagining Random freaking out about this, like he freaked out about Be Prepared when you-know-who put it on his best villain songs list.
Remember, this is the song that I mentioned that was on my iPod that I bought from iTunes. I literally listened to it on repeat on the bus so many times.
We don't have too much time.
Yeah, a little over a minute.
Status quo.
Yeah. Also, I honestly think this might be Joe Richter's like best performance. Just like how
Status
he
quo.
does especially just the like you said, like with the composition, it's like no to status quo, and it's so catchy and it's so simple but so complex at the same time.
Yeah, it really, really tugs my heartstrings, that song. I relate really strongly to it personally, and his performance is just knocks it out of the park. And I went to the Apocalypse tour that they did live in 2012. It was the day before my high school graduation. I went to go see them live.
That's so magical.
In Center City, and their version that they do live at their shows, it's like 3-part harmony, and it just like you could just cry. You could just stand there crying. It's just so
my
good.
god, that sounds incredible.
I'll find it for you guys. I'll link you to it later.
Thank you so much. That would be wonderful. Yeah.
All right, that's all of Act 1. Act 2, The Way I Do.
Can we talk about the remaining songs in 10 seconds?
Well, I'm gonna allow this to go over just this once.
Yeah, we'll get through it. We'll breeze through it. The Way I Do is just a beautiful duet. I love it so much. The harmonies and the counterpoint are just mwah, chef's kiss. Love it.
Real quick, 4 minutes. That's all we're getting.
All right, fine. We can do it. Way I Do. I agree. Beautiful number. I prefer when just Tootsie and Mega Girl sing, because like Bug in February, they're okay, but the power couple is Tootsie Noodles and Mega Girl.
Highly agree.
It had like a country twang to it as well, which adds to the Tootsie Noodles thing. And he sang like it was so weird, like just hearing like oh golly gee, just singing his heart out at this. Even though I already heard him sing his heart out and kick it up a notch.
Dylan Saunders.
Dylan Saunders.
Voice.
Oh yes. There isn't like a word that can praise him enough in the English language, I think, for his performance of vocals and acting. Gosh.
Would you say this had a lot of beauty?
It did.
It did. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
This is like Kiss the Girl meets Under the Sea, and it's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
Like fused. It is quite beautiful.
It is huge. It really does feel like a massive number.
It is. I mean, I can't listen or watch that part of the musical without just having a dumb smile on my face, because it's just so wholesome and Lovely.
talking about the bumblebees, and it's like, oh my god.
It's like the dragonfly does dance. Like,
Oh, it's such a beautiful song, and they make something like I'm not impressed by bugs either, but like I did. This was beautiful, and I love
yeah,
it.
it really does make you see some of the beauty in nature that you don't think about.
Also, Roach.
Yeah.
Yes,
Roach. Sweet bean.
Yeah, the last two we have, we already talked about the reprisal song.
Yeah, the reprisal songs, Kick It Up a Notch, which was great hearing Junior sing.
Yes. Oh my
So
god.
good. I just like laugh the whole time. Just got the pot, you know? Like,
Yeah, I'm smoking pot.
it's just so good.
Also, satisfying death scene for Junior.
Oh, yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yes.
For
For
Junior,
sure.
yeah.
Don't the whole
Yeah.
thing with Boogie.
Actually, like it paid off.
It
Yeah,
does.
yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like that was much more satisfying than
agree.
Pincers, but it's satisfying in a different way. There's Beauty Reprise, which we already talked about.
It's beautiful.
Like,
Hmm
Alright.
A great way to close it.
Yes.
For sure.
absolutely
Beautiful.
The whole ensemble coming together, and yeah, it's like a bug now the ambassador to the human world. It's like, oh, fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No.
It really feels tied up in a bow, except for, the unfinished ships and Crander and Specs. But,
Yes.
overall, it feels tied up in a bow.
Absolutely.
All right.
Real
And with that-
quick, since I gave us more time, I'm gonna use it for something important. I just want to talk about this one bug really quick, and then we'll stop. The bug who, after people get their job assigned, the bug asks them if they think the job is cool, and when they say no, he explains the job and then says, "So do you still think that doing this job isn't cool?"
I like the when he does that to the bug played by Joe Walker. It's like, wow, it's so it's so like it's like a work PSA, like a
Yeah.
I forgot about the tutorial bug.
Yeah.
it's a royal bug.
Oh,
Well, if there's one thing we don't need a tutorial to tell us, it's that the timer ran out.
yes. It,
All right.
And that Starship's really great.
yeah. Let's talk about final thoughts. Who wants to go first?
Why don't our special guest say her final thoughts?
Yes.
Gosh, I mean, all in all, nothing's perfect, and Starship definitely isn't a perfect piece of theater, but it is a beautiful story that resonates with me deeply, and I think that the songs are so well written, and the characters, most of them are really like well thought out and just really fun to vibe with on your screen. And I just Starship by StarKid is still today my favorite StarKid show.
Aw.
Aw.
Yeah.
It's a good point with the vibing, because this definitely feels like a movie I can just like vibe to and just kind of relax. That's nice.
All right.
It's a comfort show for sure.
Yes. for
Yeah.
sure. Watch, since you're talking about it, want to go next?
Fine.
Wow.
I hated this play. No. This was the first time in this podcast series where I came out of this like kind of giddy, where it's like, oh, we're watching something good. This is real good. It's like from like as soon as like you see the puppets, like I'm sold. It's like it could have been like the same quality as like Powder musical, and I still would have been sold just in the puppets. But it also has to be a really good musical. And it's so charming. It has a huge cast, and aside from a couple of people, like they really do their all with these characters. It's strange puns and gags. It's just fantastic. I was very I was very happy to see that like they really started to dial down on the references and just making like a good. I mean, it steals the plot from Little Mermaid and a little bit of Aladdin, but like aside from the stuff where they talk about the robot wars, like, oh hell, Astro Boy, it still feels like it still feels like its own place. It still feels like its own world and its own environment, and that's just really nice to see. Like that, and even some of the references, they bring a smile to my face. Like hearing Commander Up talking about like Metal Gear.
He did, yeah. Like
Mm-hmm. That whole speech was amazing.
And here comes Optimus Prime.
The Autobots.
Hot dog, not hamburger. Just all around, fantastic. Love the song. Love the song.
Kirby, you want to go next?
Yeah, no. You still get to go last, so.
I'm going last for this one.
So, I do want to get this out of the way before I say anything. It was a lot of time talking about the positives. There were things that I weren't crazy about. I already talked about February. I had to think of her name. The audio is much better. However, because audio balancing is such a big deal to me, considering what I want to do, when the music is playing and it drowns out the voices, it's a little cumbersome. That's more of a nitpick, though. I think my real problems with the play kind of stem from, of course, February, as I said. As Wash said, the death of Pinsir was pretty unsatisfying, especially since we didn't see it. Ultimately, I think what my big problem with the play overall is, and it's not a huge problem, it's a little more than a nitpick, but it's not little enough to be a nitpick, but it's not big enough to ruin it. I think the play is a bit too safe. I don't think there's really anything in it that made me go, wow, other than a couple of silly jokes. Which, those silly jokes that made me go, wow, they were incredible, but from a storytelling perspective, from the narrative, nothing about it really made me think about, wow, that was super interesting, or super different, or super, yeah! It was very safe, and that isn't necessarily fully a bad thing. I think that it works to the play's advantage quite well. However, for all the ragging that I've given to, maybe not any of the other StarKid stuff, but I'm thinking of the ragging that I've done on some films that I haven't necessarily enjoyed fully. But, they at least tried to do something, a little weird, a little different. This just felt very safe, but that's kind of it. Those are pretty much all the major complaints. Again, some nitpicks, but whatever. Otherwise, great characters, great acting, great puppeteering, great songs, great props, great settings, the backgrounds and the lighting, stuff like that is incredible. There's a lot to praise here, and when your previous 3 grades were a D-, the lowest F-, and an F+, getting something really good is very, very nice. I was pleasantly surprised. I was not very hopeful going into it just because of how the previous 3 were, but I listened to Random told me, trust me, this one's better, and it's not D+ better. It's legitimate A- better.
I 100% agree that I'll probably put this as like a A-. I felt like
I'm leaning towards A- personally, but you could convince me to A, I'm sure.
Oh, I would certainly give it an A.
My thoughts, I'm probably going to mimic a lot of what Anayume says, but this has been a musical that really means a lot to me, to my heart. It's arguably one of the reasons I wanted to do StarKid Spotlight to begin with, because I wanted to talk to you about this. Hell, I've been trying to get you guys to watch this for years.
It's true.
And I really still loved it. I was like giddy watching it the whole time. I almost watched it twice. That's
I know, like, I almost just want to put it right back on tonight.
I'm gonna listen to the cast album before I go to bed, I swear. And I just love the music. I love the characters so much. I love the storytelling. I love how the writing really, really works in this one for me. And yes, there are some problems. I'm not the biggest fan of February. I like her a lot better than I don't think she's more flawed writing. And if anything, I still like what they do with her, but like Denise does her best, and she does a good job.
Yeah.
And the lie revealed again. It's a bit of a weird trope, but at least it's quick. At least they
I
just brush it off. And
To each their own.
but my nostalgia may be talking in this one, but I try my best to like not let nostalgia take over. But it's still magical, and I still love it. And
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I hear people use the term magical a lot to talk about Disney movies, and it was just kind of roll my eyes. And hearing you say magical here, it's like I'm not rolling my eyes. Like, I agree.
It really is magical. I so agree.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
There's one StarKid production that may rival it being the best, but as of now,
course, a very Potter senior year.
No, no, but we'll get
Not
to
quite.
that. We'll get to that. I really do love Starship. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. This is a part where we would do kind of rankings.
Yeah, you can. I know what they are, but
yeah. I think, I know. You said Anayume that this was your favorite, like, right? Hands down.
Yeah. This is my favorite.
Okay,
Awesome.
well that bodes very well for whatever the next time we bring Anayume over.
This works though. Like with how the last three went, they were like, "Oh shoot, we got to make one that's like really good." Who cares? Who cares if it's the best thing we're ever gonna make? We gotta make up for what we did.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I say based on your rankings, you both put Starship on the top as well.
Not even. Like if it's not even close for you two, you can't even imagine how not close it is for me and Wash.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like we were like the previous one. We were, like I think I might have given like a C or a B minus at best. That might be like yeah. This one is actually good, great, even.
And I agree.
I would describe AA minus as much better than great, but that's just me.
Yes. And honestly, with my rankings from what we watched so far, because we haven't seen a lot of them yet, this is the top for now. We'll see if that takes over or not.
So we all have the same rankings, huh?
Yeah, we do.
Yay!
No, I think
Unanimous.
it's slightly different. I think I like sequel
no, you like
more.
sequel more than musical. That's right.
That's right.
So one last thing we like to do before we end off is we like to highlight a performer that we like the best, and name the performer and like that truly outshined. But if one person picks one, we can't pick that same person.
And I went first. I went first last, but when we have a guest. 2, I went first last time, so it's gotta hope.
Yeah. Anayume is gonna be first. I'm gonna say that.
Before we get to that, can I just mention like how different it is from like the very first episode where like I was like rushing to say the one good actor
like
in the
literally
musical.
all of us were like, oh, okay, if we don't go first, we can't pick Joe Walker. We need a backup.
Now, how good is this cast?
It's
like
so good.
so many pickings. Like you really can't be
some
mad.
things can't.
Right.
Some things never change because we could still pick Joe Walker.
but Anayume, who's your favorite actor?
And just give like a brief summary why.
Gosh, it's so hard to choose. Avoiding the obvious, because I'm sure one of you will say it. I do want to just highlight Lauren Lopez. I just absolutely adore her. She is so committed to staying in character, whether she's doing her main character or her side character, or like even she comes out as like the little Pikachu bug at the beginning, and she's so even you could see the look on her face. She's so invested. Yeah, Pikachu. She's just so good at her craft, and her range never ceases to amaze me. That's where and the accent. Mwah, chef's kiss. I just love Lauren Lopez.
Spoken, like regularly. Has an accent. That's commission. That's commission.
Yeah.
All right.
Like down to just really quick, just down to her mannerism.
Yes.
Down to her mannerisms. Yes. Like it's crazy good. That's it. Go ahead.
You got stabbing herself in the stomach.
All right, you guys can go. Either one of you guys can go first. I'm going last for this one because
I'll let KirbyFan take it.
I mean, you know what I'm gonna say already.
I know.
Cox. He's so cute.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, okay, there's more I can say, but it's like, do I need to?
I get it. Brand Cox, if you're watching this, no Kirby fan thinks you're cute.
Yes.
All right, Wash.
Okay, boy. It's, like I said, there's so many good options here.
Legit.
Yeah, we could pick two, and it's still like, oh, we gotta leave someone out.
I'm kind of flip-flopping between like two in particular. I think I'm gonna go with Dylan Saunders.
Great choice.
I could easily go for Joey Richter or Joe Walker, especially Joe Walker, but like I said, like the sheer like it's not even it's not movie magic, it's theater magic that the guy who is very clearly the Southern bumpkin is playing the suavest crab you've ever seen until Moana.
No, more than Moana.
Probably more than Moana.
I've never seen Moana.
I mean, you see more of Pincher than you do the
Fair.
crab in Moana.
Even I know that.
But like the sheer magic of it, and of course the big reveal of 2C Mega Girl, just he just can't stop smiling. He's just so like he's in love with life when he's 2C, and he's so in love with eating brains when he's Pincher. So, random, I know that there's not that many actors left to choose from.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Oh, I was thinking about picking Dylan, but that's okay. I think I'm gonna be the boring basic one, and I love Joe Walker. I do. He's one of my favorite things in this, but just for growth, I gotta go with Joe Richter. I gotta go with him. I gotta go with him. He's grown so much since he was Ron Weasley.
None of us picked Joe Walker. Wow.
For once.
Yeah, wow.
Also-
I can't.
Fun fact: did you guys know that Lauren Lopez and Joey Richter are engaged?
Yes, actually, I found out yesterday.
Yes.
I wasn't sure. I needed it to be known because I'm so happy for them.
Oh, I found out something about Joe Walker that didn't make me very happy.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sad. But either way, we'll talk about that probably when we get closer to like Firebringer. But
Firebringer. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. This has been honestly my favorite episode of StarKid Spotlight so far.
Well, yes, because it's the only one where we're all happy.
Yeah. Like we were talking before about like a fan club is like we bring up a fan club for Starship, and that's what happens when people like things together.
It's beautiful.
The power of friendship, or the power of Starship.
The
power of shipping.
But let me just say, this has been an amazing episode. Thank you all, and thank you Anayume for being our guest today. It means the world.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I could be here to talk about Starship with you guys.
It was so much fun.
Our pleasure.
It was.
And just so we know, before we do our plugging, where can we find your wonderfulness on on the internet?
Oh, on the interwebs, you can find me at twitch.tv/Anayume, that's ANAYUME, and dlive.tv/Anayume, and I'm on the Twitters, the Instagrams, as at Anayume Music, TikTok at Anayume. I'm all over the place.
Subscribe to our MySpace.
Hit me up on LiveJournal.
Yeah, let's go.
Friend me on AOL.
MSN.
Don't make me cry.
I miss MSN so much.
And on that note, go check out Anayume and be sure to follow our podcast credentials as well. Take it away, Wash.
That's right, because I'm the only one that remembered that our Twitter account is WRK Podcast. That's where we post all of our post all of our info on the podcast and when episodes come out. And also, you can subscribe to us both on our YouTube channel, also called WRK in Progress, and you can also subscribe to us on Simplecast and wherever else podcasts are. So check out all of our older stuff where we geek out about anime and
Anime.
that's all an anime.
We do have an anime series, but
Yes.
I recommend
thank
starting
you
with the
all.
Sonic episode.
But thank you for watching. I'm Random Bystander here.
I am the bug.
I'm Bughead apparently, and this is still not the red line of StarKid Spotlight.
Oh my god.